Hello, hello. I want to talk a little bit about a experience that happened yesterday. As I spoke before, I had a woman in my life that I don't know how to describe it. I loved her as a person, and we shared a lot of deep stuff, but that person has a wound, and that wound, no matter what I tried to build a container around, etc., that wound came out and would smash me on a regular basis. And crazy me, I probably spent 5 years of my life in and out and around in circles with this person. And be aware, I don't hate this person for what had happened. I got a really good glimpse at who I am by allowing this to happen over and over and over again and not seeing some truth or believing what was in my heart. But I thought we had an agreement about 2 weeks ago where this was completed, but I had chosen to leave her in my Facebook life just so that she could connect or see progress and see a window on my life. But I guess that was too much because there was really strange stuff starting to happen, really codependent, connecting with my friends, trying to get them to heal her and recommending them, and she didn't even know them in some vain ploy to chisel her way back in my life. And it was scary, actually, in a lot of ways, because there was so much insecurity. So I chose, instead of running away, I chose to have a final conversation. And it was the most loving, hardest conversation I've ever had with a person, trying to hold them in integrity of the damage that they were doing and the pain and discomfort they were causing by them not letting go when they created a situation over and over and over again where they dictated that they needed to be let go. And our higher selves will do this to us sometimes, where the biggest act of love is walking away. And this happened once before. The last time things kind of crashed, I think it was the fourth time, where I forced a situation or walked away, and we spent a year apart. And she made some really huge life decisions. She later on said that it was her biggest accomplishment, and it guided her so well. So we both knew that sometimes that distance is what heals. Well, in this situation where boundaries weren't being honored and hurt was being amassed, and I had the hardest conversation of my life, that conversation basically kept reflecting for her that until that part that wants to lash out, get angry, hurt, and be codependent and do things around the back without any clarity, despite agreements and very clear requirements of honesty, that person couldn't be trusted anymore. And it was so funny. I'd reflect this and I'd say it, and it was like it was invisible to her. And that's okay. But I kept reflecting, and then she'd get angry and she'd get emotional. And I'm like, you created this. You created this. Until you can find that part. Oh, well, I need to heal myself. Well, no, you can't heal yourself until you acknowledge it's there. And we went round and round in circles. It was about an hour, and I reflected very carefully, but it was very clear she was more worried about her loss than loving. And especially loving herself. And that's a really crazy place, because I've been there. And you have to choose yourself in the end of it. And the codependence, the holding on to another person is the last death gasps of our mind, our ego, or whatever, trying to find love through someone else. And we will scream and yell and shout and do anything possible to avoid realizing it has to come from ourselves first. And the deepest reflection that I could provide was to say, this can't continue. You're hurting me. And acknowledging that I didn't have to participate. No matter how much it was, I still love her as a person, but I can't stand beside her. I can't stand and let her hang on to me. It's not the best for both of us. And that's the craziness of love. And that's why I said, love isn't what we think it is. How can I love another person if they're hanging on for dear life and I can't even literally see my life and my self-love because we're so intertwined with another person, or entangled, I guess is the better word. And after I made the choice to move on, big things started to open up in my life. And it's not like a kind of F off or anything like that. It was just a freedom feeling of, okay, I'm not entangled. And when we start learning to really truly love ourselves, it's not from entanglement. It's not from caring so much about the other that we do everything to avoid hurting them. It's about saying the hard things, saying you're hurting me, and honoring it and saying that's not acceptable. And I know this will come out for the better, but how do you move from codependent love to independent self-love so that then you can find people and join with them from your abundance, from not filling your heart of their love, filling it yourself. And once you fill it yourself, you never lose it. You never, when a relationship crashes, you don't die or hurt or whatever. Yeah, you may feel down at it, but as long as everybody's choosing the self-loving path, there is no wrong decisions. And can you imagine relationships that, okay, we're taking a 5-year break while people grow and find themselves? You don't say goodbye forever and burn the bridge and burn the clothes and all this kind of stuff. You say, hey, you got to go that way for a little while. I'm going over here. And I still love you. I will join up again. I don't know when that'll be. That choice is yours. And honor that. And if they come pound on the windows and the doors, and I got to set some really strong boundaries. So the deepest love and the most peace I got was from putting my arm out in a no more and saying, you caused this. This is complete for right now, and I don't want to see you anymore. And to honor that, and to give her the space to find her stuff, and give me the space to find out what's better for me. Because we get clingy in that love. We get attached, and I thought we'd negotiated that all out, but no, there was attachment, and there was jealousy, and there's a whole bunch of other things. And that angry little part of ourselves can leap out and sabotage everything. So just be aware that if things are breaking away, relationships are breaking down, you can't stay around people, it's needed sometimes. Don't stop loving. Don't stop caring, but detach. Say, end the experience of this attachment, end the experience of codependence, end the experience of narcissism, whatever's underneath of it, and honor yourself. And just always, always, always know that as long as you're honoring yourself and you're choosing from self-love, only the best will come out. Even if somebody hurts, sometimes that hurt is the bottom of the dark night of the soul, and it's the only thing that makes them have a choice and realize that it's their choice. But if they're hanging on to somebody else, they'll hang on for dear life, and they'll avoid that choice at all costs, and it hurts us. I did it myself many, many times. But how do we know if we're worthy of more, or if we're holding on to codependent love, the love that hurts us, and that's all we expect in our life? How do you open space for more? How do you open space for a new possibility of something even better maybe that person will come back in a couple more years once they've done some more work and can now see it in a better way. And that may be the love of your life for the rest of your life. But if they're hurting you right now, they're not right. So let them grow. Let them go and let them grow. So if you're negotiating hard decisions, sometimes just trust that as long as it's loving and positive and you're loving yourself, that it's all going to work out. Because it is. And some of the hardest conversations in the world can be had around this kind of stuff, but just be self-loving. Don't let them be codependent. Don't let them emotionally sabotage you. Don't let them cry and whine and all this kind of stuff. They want any way out of accepting that a part of themselves is shooting themselves in the foot. So just be aware. This is a thing. This is real. And huge growth can happen. I've seen it many, many times, even with this woman, but now it's another turn. And she's making the choices of whether or not she hurts me or attacks me or does not focus. And all I can do is respond to what was received in the most self-loving way possible. So I love you all. I hope this helps. And we will talk again soon. Have a great night.